7-6, and then won the second game 7-5. That's about as close as you can get without actually losing or without actually winning.
That's true.
So, and that was with England brand new, you know, wet meat, fresh meat, whatever you want to call them, brand new to the team. Whether he was IGLing at the time or they had beastly IGLing, I'm not entirely certain, but you've got to imagine that all right, well, that is...
And that's coming out from Mouz, so they must know something about Kore. I mean, you rarely do that as a general ban. That's a targeted ban. And maybe there's just someone that's just a super ranked player from Kore that does pretty well on Ashe. They're just like, not today.
I mean, if Kore's a new team and they don't play together regularly and they don't have defined strats and all that jazz, banning probably the best fragging operator that you don't need to rely on. Because a lot of teams, let's face it, they can frag capably without Ashe.
Yeah.
If you know that this team is going to be coming in with minimal strats or just doesn't have the same expertise that a Pro League team does, which Kore does not, then you ban an operator that is a lot easier to get a lot of use out of. And with Lion already banned now, it's going to require more strategy from Kore.
On the upside for Kore, though, none of the new ops are banned.
That's true. The downside for Kore is that they have to start on defense.
Yeah.
If Mouz are able to win any more than 2 or 3 rounds, my apologies. If Mouz are able to win at least 4 rounds, or possibly 5 rounds, I think that's going to be problematic.
So interesting, too, because we usually see Glass banned on Coastline because of how powerful he is. Wasn't banned. They go to pick it, and then 6th pick Maverick. Interesting choice there, because that is definitely going to be an interesting one. I don't think that's a super vital one to Coastline, but on Penthouse, actually, that could be pretty strong because of his ability to attack that theater wall. Could be a big surprise here for Kore, because there's a chance they might not even know that Maverick's getting played if they don't spot him on any cameras or anything like that. And he's already an operator that's great at surprise. Let's imagine they don't have control of the stairs right there by theater, and all of a sudden, they're like, oh, we're fighting Penthouse, cool. A hole opens behind them, they're all dead. That is definitely a real possibility for this first round. And unfortunately for Kore, they're technically choosing one of the worst bomb sites on this map. I mean, next to Hookah. And this is one people like to play, but don't usually do all that well on. However, maybe maybe they can just kind of rank this out. But this is one that's really a struggle to roam on as well, and you end up just kind of stuck in theater most of the time if you can't even hold VIP for very long.
They also lack a defined anchor for the moment. I mean, maybe a Legion and a Mute, I'm guessing, will probably be their 2 anchors, but not running a Smoke, not running a Maestro. That's confusing, to say the least. So,
well, I mean, maybe it's the case where they're just going to play like that sort of flex run where they're ready to rotate back to side, or they're just hoping to rank this out and get some frags. But this is, maybe they're like, roaming with one guy is too hard, so we'll roam with all 5. And that way we'll play the numbers game on that one and hope we come out ahead.
We also have an update on the matchup between Evil Geniuses and Cloud9. Advancing first out of their bracket, Cloud9 take it 2-1. So Evil Geniuses will face off against, I believe it's going to be the result of Mocket versus the BYOC team, which is Grizzlies. The winner of that matchup between Grizzlies and Mocket will square off against Evil Geniuses, and then that will determine which team makes it into the group stage. So congratulations, Cloud9. They'll make it into the top 8.
They had a scrappy game yesterday. I'm surprised.
Very scrappy game. And I mean, Cloud9 has also been to, if I recall correctly, they've been to all 3 DreamHacks. They were in DreamHack Valencia as well.
Ooh, good for them.
And now they've actually made it into the group stages for the first time.
They're putting in their time, and I think it's paying off. That's fantastic. See, let's hope teams like Kore and some of these other ones and Honor can do the same. But there's a nice start there for England. Unfortunate for one of the players of Kore. That is the Ella down now. But there goes the second one. A nice grenade kill, and then followed right on up. Kore, unfortunately, not lasting too long in this round. Might be time to fall back to site.
Well, the first kill from Kore is going to come from Legless Legolas. That's going to be interesting to say. Holding a tight angle on the main window is Beastly. He's going to look through Penthouse and be able to get a kill onto Kit Kat. That's the Mute. So it's going to be Legless Legolas. Never thought I would ever say that in a professionally sanctioned match, but that is a great handle if I've ever heard one.
Yeah.
Very far off site. The Vigil will have to retake in a 1v4 with Diffuser down. Mouse will just hold tight angles. You've got Vertical on the Maverick here, just watching, and he'll see the Vigil pass. But wait, gives a call out knowing that he's going to have to rush in through theater. Penthouse being anchored down right now, and there you go, Vertical. Finish things off. Mouse takes round number 1.
Well, at least they killed one player of Mouse. There is that, but definitely not the greatest start for Kore. Like you said, starting on defense, not the best way to go here on a map that is so attacker-sided. I just hope that they're a team that are okay in terms of like, hey, we can lose some rounds. We're not going to lose our cool, especially knowing that we're starting on defense on one of the worst maps to start on defense. And at least not be too tilted going into the next one. But either way, you know, this is they get to be on stage. You know, maybe they can try and take a round. They took 1 round off Rogue. It's not bad. That means there's some potential to take maybe more than 1 off Mouse.
I would have loved to have got to see what Rogue played with for that matchup, because I didn't get to really watch any of it. Yeah. But there is a tendency among teams that when you're playing against BIOC teams, this was in DreamHack Valencia from what I heard from the teams, and I saw it firsthand in DreamHack Austin as well. You don't really need to show strats as hard against BIOC teams because...
Yeah, we talked to Secret about that yesterday.
I mean, unless it is like a Beast Coast DG situation where you've got pro teams coming through, when you're competing against teams that aren't even in Challenger League, you don't necessarily need to go as strat heavy. You can kind of just, you know, play a loose frag game and then just chase those kills. And even Mouse there didn't really look like they were showing that many strats. They basically just attacked from main windows and then jumped in to VIP and then took control of site.
I think it only comes down to if they start to feel heavily pressured, they might bring out some strats. You know, it's one of those things where you go progressive strats, right? You start with just your basic stuff. Then you start to maybe expand a little bit if you have to. You're just rarely ever going to have to pull out your Top Gun strats. It's always like, okay, we're at least not going to have to use those to be able to bring it back. But you never know. It gives a chance, though, for the BIOC teams to be able to see where the strengths and weaknesses are. Nonetheless, you know, it's that valuable experience. But either way, let's hope this surprise welcome mats here catches one of them. It looks like I like the elite welcome mats. They look very, very much more menacing.
They look more obvious, though, too, at the same time.
That is true. It's not like the Valkyrie cameras or the Twitch skin where it's just like, oh, let's make this actually harder to see.
Yeah. So we'll see what Mouse is able to pull out here. It's the same thing with amateur leagues, too, right? You know, there's a couple amateur leagues that come to mind where a pro team will compete in it, and it's like they don't really run strats because they know they don't really need to.
I always wonder about VR6 with that as well, just because sometimes we get some weird upsets in there. But either way, we'll see if Mouse can pull off the same fast attack they did last time. It seemed like they'd killed a good majority of Kore by the minute 30 mark. So far, you know, they're doing a bit more droning this round. It's good to see that they're not just rushing in, face checking everything. They're actually, you know, making sure they do a thorough job. You see the second drone coming out there, for example, from Buck.
So just making sure that they've got all that coordination. And this is good, got all that coordination down. This is good training for Mouse because obviously loser goes home, first kill is going to go to Hyper. He's going to take out KitKat.
Let's look at the mats.
KitKat's no more. That's the Frost mat there, playing the Mutant, now playing a Frost.
Well, he wanted to give him a break.
Oh my gosh. You can't just make those jokes.
I'm sorry, I was not licensed properly.
Legolas, who has the kills for Kore so far, will add to another, and that's Hyper, who's caught looking in the wrong direction. Now, if England vaults over this, and they're over that deployable shield, and there happens to be a Frost mat there, well, that'll be the end of him. He'll take out Jiggy Jam Bandito. I'm gonna say these full names, man. I am dialed in right now. But this is a great vantage point that we see from England. He's got control of Pink. He can look all the way in towards A-bomb. He's got the pool table cut off and a rotation from Aqua as well. Those frost mats that were strategically placed by the door will be taken out. And vertical on drone, we'll see that there is one member positioned on Cool Vibe stairs. That's Horatio. He'll take out Poppy Vandal, and then England is there to refrag, which means that vertical inching his way up towards that open hole. He'll see one and playing inside of Aqua. Canadian girl. Gone. And England will get planned down, leaving just the last one left. Legolas will have to hobble his way back to the site. He's all the way down in office. I believe Michael would call this far afield. And we'll see what the Legion can do. Now he's got 3 to go against this time. Last time around he had 4. He'll have to wade through that barbed wire on Cool Vibe stairs. But England is there, and we'll see what he can possibly accomplish. He will outduel the brand new IGL of Mouse, and England will fall, meaning that Vertical will now only need to find this Legion. As Legion works his way up the stairs, they'll be holding an angle. The Blackbeard there, Beastly, unable to land his shots, but amidst the broken pottery, Beastly will finish it off, and that's Mouse 2 in a row.
Well, at least they were trying a different bomb site, trying Hookah there. It did not work out either, but maybe they can go to the more reliable bomb site of Kitchen next and maybe have a bit more of a chance. Hookah is one that does play a bit better in ranked, for example, so maybe it's one they felt was very strong, you know, probably being a team that plays a lot more ranked than competitive play, but in this case did not pay off. They are going to go to Kitchen this time, though, which is the better bet. So we'll see if that pays off. They're going to get, it looks like at least they're going to tease bringing out that Frost again they were able to use to some effect, I suppose. But this is definitely a better bomb site for it. This is one where it's more typical to get some of those sneaky peeks. Is Vertical actually going to stick on that Fuse, though, or is he going to 6th pick over to Maverick again? It'd be interesting to see, because Fuse would be fun to see on this bomb site if he's able to pull it off.
It's not a bad bomb site for Fuse by any stretch of the imagination. Either it does appear that Vertical will swap off. I mean, what a good way to possibly clear out Frost traps than to use those cluster charges. Especially from above, that entire ceiling of the kitchen is destructible, so you can just rain carnage down from above.
Well, in this case, though, I feel like, so we were talking about this yesterday with Secret, that Secret could use the opportunity playing against the Bioc team to try out the new operators a bit and see, you know, how they can flex their muscle. We did see a little bit of that in the first SK versus SSG, but not too much after that. I mean, your guys' match definitely saw a lot of clash. But it's good to see that Mouz are at least going to try out Maverick a little bit. I mean, maybe they're not going to get a ton of use out of him in a situation that plays exactly the same way as pro competitive play, but it's still like just kind of flex a little bit, try him out, see what kind of weird ideas you can come with. But at least this isn't ranked, right? This is one this is a little bit more organized. This is something not quite a scrim either, but it's something where they can test things out, and they're probably not going to be using any kind of strats that's going to be revealing anything.
5 seconds left.
So we'll see. I think it's fun. I just like to see what weird ideas come out of it. I mean, we did catch some fun kills from it yesterday, but not too much after that.
Yeah. I'm more curious to see what Kore is going to be able to put together on attack, because I have a feeling Mouz on defense, they're probably just going to run around almost headlessly. Vertical nearly gets an opening kill onto Legolas, and there you go. The Elo will peek again. Vert just sprinting right into sight, but shut down swiftly by the MP5 of Canadian Girl. Vertical, the Maverick, that utility will be squandered, and there will be no further push as well. He'll drop a pretty competent fragger. Vandal just daring somebody to peek through the bathroom, and he'll light up the Legion and then toss in a frag grenade here. Managed to take out that barbed wire, but will not secure a kill with it. Kit Kat also looks like she's nearly been downed. So that's 2 members of Kore who have ended up consuming quite a bit of damage.
Well, we'll see if this Blackbeard can last long. This is, an area that's famous for runouts they could take advantage of, but I think he's got a good angle that's kind of locking them down right there, and they're able to kind of approach from a variety of different vantage points, and that's going to make it much harder for them to try and do any kind of cheeky peeks or anything like that to at least take advantage of the surprise, and there we go. A nice little peek hole there by Hyper. We're seeing more and more of those from Pro League teams because they know the angles, they know the map so well. And it's unfortunate for a team like this that's going to get fully taken advantage of on that. But hey, at least one pick there from the Jaeger.
Horatio getting England down, but Hyper's there to trade him off, but that's Jiggy Jam Bandito, meaning Horatio can still live amidst the shelving unit inside a kitchen. Completely disoriented by the Zofia as he's almost a dead man. 3 people who have their sights trained on him. His position not given away. Here's the Legion mine of Hyper, but the Zofia will trudge on in, and that will be Mouz putting now 3 on the board. All Mouz all day.
Yeah, it's, I mean, I'm not expecting a ton here from Kore, but at least they're getting a kill or 2. It just seems like they're getting pretty shut down pretty fast by Mouz. I mean, it's not like a minute-long rounds or anything like that, but it seems like, you know, the kills tend to cascade very quickly coming out from Mouz. Once they're able to get 1 and 2, they tend to just be able to push very steadily towards the site, and it's not like you're getting a lot of surprises from Kore where they're able to make some kind of weird plays, and I think when you're a team like this, that is one of your few assets, is to be able to just surprise them as much as possible, do weird things, do things they don't expect if they're in that Pro League mindset. But it is hard to do on a map like this. I think this was not the map to play to be able to try and surprise a Pro League team, especially with how much roamer control there is and starting on defense and having so much trouble with that. I feel like they probably should have tried to pick a different map to be able to get that surprise. You know, maybe one with some flexibility and a lot of space, but not one where the roamers are so constrained and so easily trapped by drones.
Yeah. It's pretty. You can drone out. You can drone out coastline pretty quickly too.
Yeah.
And we've seen that even at the top level of gameplay, that when you isolate the roamers on coastline, there's very few avenues for them to be able to get away safely. There are hatches that you can drop through. That SK was using somewhat successfully against Space Station yesterday, but I mean, just a couple things that you can notice from Kore. They routinely will peek and try to take engagements, which against a pro team is probably not the most advisable path for you.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's only 3 rounds in. Definitely could shape up a little bit here. Although the rounds, the halftime switch will give them a chance to try and flex on attack, where maybe they'll be able to get some advantage over Mouz. But that could be a situation where they get 1 round to do that. That's not a ton. And it's going to go on to Mouz's map next, which is Villa, though. That could be one where Kore maybe have some surprises in store for Mouz. Obviously, Mouz might be using it to test out some ideas of their own in a case, because Villa is so rarely played in Pro League. It's a good chance to try something out before you use it. I mean, obviously it's not going to be quite the same, but like I said, I'm glad to see them at least testing out Maverick a little bit and just seeing what they can pull off. That, although it looks like it's the same player playing it this time, I think.
I don't think we've ever seen Mouz play Villa, so I mean that would right there be two things for me. Either one, as you said, they're going to be trying things out, which I don't necessarily know if they're going to show, or it's just going to be them trying to deliberately keep things to themselves, which is a very real possibility.
At least it won't be like a G2 bait, right?
First kill is going to go to Jiggy Jam Bandito. Vertical, the Maverick, opening kill. 2 in a row for him now. So you've lost your Maverick, and Legolas downstairs will be felled and then finished off with a grenade from Poppy Vandals. You can see him using that concussive blast that you can get when Ella gets downed. Hyper positioned by the main doorway of VIP, looking towards corridor. He'll go for a pre-fire. Managed to take out Canadian Girl. It looked like another member of Kore was going to push him. That's the Legion playing in there, but no. Kit Kat now will get pinged, and with the opening that was created by the X-Karos, it will be Hyper picking up his second kill of the round. A good vantage point for him, as that's a skeleton key kill from Vandal. Last one playing on Cool Vibe Stairs, a second from Vandal, using that under-barrel shotgun to do the work that he needs to. Not necessarily known for its damage potential, but in close quarters combat, it's not the worst tool to have.
Stairs on shotguns are very effective, although to be fair, he actually gave himself too much distance. You saw him backing off as he was firing. That's why it took so many shots. If he had actually pushed in closer, he might have been able to do that damage faster, but nonetheless, I mean, he won the engagement. That's all that really matters, but yeah, shotguns on stairs, definitely not a fun fight to have. We've seen, for example, yellow stairs on Consulate is a big victim of that with smoke playing down there. But either way, they're going to try hookah again, which surprises me. Again, hookah is not working. And that was one of the faster rounds, too, that Mouse won.
That was swift.
It was just not, I mean, unless you've got some weird other idea you're going to do, it's just, I don't think it's going to work out all that differently for them this round. And this may be a quick switch over to them on attack. See what they can do there.
Attackers need to locate and
So we have another update for you, so spoilers ahead. By a score of 2-1, Team Secret will advance to the playoffs as well. They'll join Cloud9 and Rogue as the third team that will play in our quarterfinals either later tonight or tomorrow morning. That means that Boot Camp will have one more game to secure their place. The lone Brazilian team here gave Secret a bit of a scare, pushing a third map after a pretty decent performance on, I believe it was Oregon as their second map. So hey, we could see a Latin America team tonight or tomorrow in the quarterfinals, depending on what Boot Camp is capable of doing in that group.
5 seconds remaining.
They have the winner of Noble versus the BYOC team, if I recall correctly.
Attackers
Should be interesting.
Defuse a bomb.
So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I like that about these kind of tournaments. There's a lot of who knows, right?
There's a lot of who knows.
It's definitely a little bit different than, say, an invitational, a major, or even the season finals, where it can be a little more predictable to an extent. This is definitely, you know, surprises. I mean, the Cloud9 EG match, that was already a bit of a surprise, seeing Cloud9 come out on top after they struggled a bit in their match that we saw yesterday, so.
A lot of teams having a bit of an interesting go of things here. Jiggy Jam Bandito trying to go for a bullet pen kill now as he uses an impact on the wall, pulls out the sidearm pistol, trying to engage with the Hibana of England. He'll get droned out. The Rook's position given away, and there you go. Vertical will come in to assist from that big window. A good crossfire established. Legolas, who has been the most dominant member of Kore, will get one kill and look to be finished off as Vertical's M4 will do great work. Take one down. That's the Frost at Kit Kats, and we'll see if he'll get peaked again. I love how meaty the 1911 sounds.
Yeah.
What a great sounding gun. Every single bit of Maverick's firepower, as you can see, beastly. Why did you jump in there?
Attackers.
Oh my
feel welcome.
goodness. He gets into a frost trap. I feel giddy. It's like Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Also, those things are vicious. You would not be able to just stand right back up.
Yeah.
Vandal takes out Horatio, and we only have 2 more members of Kore left. One who is Legolas with less than half HP. He'll be last man standing as Canadian Girl is taken out. And down below, Gadget on, cloaking device, wandering through the main lobby. A 1v4 to see if Mouse can complete the set and catch them all and get the 5th and sweep the first set.
Well, you never know. Vigil is definitely a good surprise operator, especially in the hands of someone like Jarvis, for example. But in this case, not much of a surprise as he goes down as they're trying to plant the diffuser, denying his teammate points for planting that. Very rude. Might have waited to get that kill, but
Unkind, to say the least.
well, you know what? I think just jockeying to see who can end the round faster at this point. But we'll see a side switch. This could go in the other favor. I mean, seeing all attack wins is not unusual in this, but in this case, it's definitely not unusual. So if Kore can bring it back a little bit, get some rounds, maybe you know, at least one like they did against Rogue, would be good for them. Surprisingly, they're actually going to see Mouse try hookah as well. So they're just like, maybe they want to demonstrate to Kore how to do it right.
Yeah. So we routinely say that Coastline is very much an attacker-sided map, that defenders usually have a bit of discomfort here. Now, the one surefire site for defenders has typically been Kitchen. Mouse is going to throw that logic in the garbage and go to hookah and billiards instead. So
why not? Keep things interesting. I think Mouse is a good team for keeping things interesting. So.
Well, we've had 6 rounds on Coastline and 4 of them have been on hookah. It feels like it's backwards day today. It's opposite day.
That's what they're trying to do. They're just trying to be like, you know what? We're going to play Villa. We're going to do things weird on Coastline. We're just going to keep the casters entertained. They think about us first.
Decent utility being brought out from Kore, though. I don't
defuse
necessarily
bombs.
know how I feel about the Capitao to sledge switch. Capitao does see quite a bit of play on Coastline, able to cut off any rotations in those small choke points. There are a lot of single panel doors on Coastline and not a ton of environmental destruction, so those asphyxiating bolts can be very powerful when you're trying to contain the defenders, either on retakes or simply in a pre-plant scenario or during your execute.
Especially when they saw the Jaeger being played, right? It was like, well, hey, who's good against Jaeger? Oh, Capitao, that's right.
Yes.
Whereas Sledge is gonna, I don't know, not be able to throw his grenades against Jaeger, so. And Sledge is not exactly one of those ones where you're like, I better hide that pick. We don't want people to know that I can hit walls open. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe they got something in store for it. Maybe it was just deciding to play something different, not so much a counter pick, but either way, there is an echo here from Vertical that's obviously going to make things very hard for them as well, because that's just going to be that extra bit of information that Kore are not going to have. However, Hyper at least making sure they are down 1 hard breacher already, so it's all going to be Habana to try and do something, and also the defuse carrier. We'll see, though. They are still approaching the building. No cheeky spawn peeks coming out from Mouse, at least, though they're not going to be that mean trying to use them. I mean, except for on Thermite.
I was going to say, Hyper just spawn peeked.
I meant after that.
You think they're just all going to be, look at this, he's spawn peeking with the yokai.
He's still doing it, yeah.
Vertical trying to relay information so that maybe one of the ACOGs can be brought out. They got 4 ACOGs on defense,
wow.
so presuming that they're not going to try to even get them into the building, but KitKats is there to see Vertical, and that aggression from the Echo will not pay off. Hibana able to get a belated refrag and put us back on a 4v4. There's a minute in so far on match point. And Kore's at least fighting on even footing. KitKats is going to absorb some damage, though, so that will not be ideal for their lone hard breacher.
Well, there is still that yokai drone in the window if they didn't manage to hit it, and that's the case where, he can still use it after his death to be able to call out where they're approaching from, potentially. But, I don't know, I mean, getting a good kill like that in the second one to follow it up, they're doing a lot better on attack than they were on defense so far.
Legless Legolas. I don't know if there's a Gimli on the field for him to contest with kills for, but Legolas is running away with it at the moment. Or because he's legless, he's not really running away from anything. But that's okay. So that's 2 ACOGs that are down for the defenders and an advantage for Kore. I think this might be the first time that Kore has actually had an advantage in numbers. They'll see one at the main doorway, and that's Beastly able to take a kill onto Jiggy Jam Bandito. There was also another playing on that hookah balcony that I think Hyper was trying to pick away at, but couldn't quite get the kill as most of his bullets ended up hitting that door frame. And the member of Kore just skirted to safety. KitKat on even lower HP now, and Legolas has taken some damage. So 3v3 with 50 seconds to go. Also, in terms of pacing, probably the slowest round we've seen so far, but 2 from Mouse, very quick succession. We'll leave just the ghost of KitKats left. And as you said earlier, no break there whatsoever. 6-0 for Mouse as they'll take map number 1, Coastline.
Unlucky for Kore, not even getting 1 round. They had the best chance on the last round, but like I said, going into the side where they might have the advantage with just 1 round to play it, not a great thing. I was hoping they would be able to pull off that 1 round and at least get something out of it, but it is unfortunate for them they were not able to do that. However, there is still a second map. It is unfortunately, though, Mouse's map pick, but this is going to be at least Villa, which should, I think, be interesting between these 2 teams.
Yeah. Villa's going to be really fun to watch here because there is really no defined meta on Villa whatsoever.